Hello everyone, Teacher here. Welcome back to another video. Today I want to talk about one of my favorite squads in this game, if not probably the favorite one. If you can guess what it is, then think about it, and after this intro, let me know if you got it right in the comments down below. So if you're ready, let's take a closer look. Ta-da! The squad is Gondor. I bet a lot of you didn't see that one coming. So I want to talk about the Gondor and what they mix well with, and we're gonna have raids in focus. So I'm gonna divide it into a few sections. I'm gonna look at it from a low spender, free-to-play perspective. I'm gonna look at it from my perspective, and then I'm also gonna look at it from those who can basically build out everything and they would use them, because I believe this squad has a lot of potential for chapter 1 and for chapter 3, especially chapter 3, where I will mostly theorycraft from. So we're gonna start off with Faramir here actually. Now the reason why this how I'm envisioning Faramir is actually the fact that here you have some assist mechanics, because he can actually do quite a lot of damage. He can do 230% when he is in stealth, and if we then, I believe an assist is 75% damage out of 230, so we are at around 200%. And the reason that is causing him to assist if is an enemy has a bane, so this also actually ties really well into chapter 2. A lot of you have heard about my Gondor Ranger squad. Now, he has a 2-turn slow for both the Cave Troll and the Balrog. Wow, brain fart there. Here he has a lot of damage AoE, which technically you could, with some little bit of a bloodlust, you could actually get some turn meter on, and he's overall pretty nice. And here, this is great as well. So, Glyphs for Faramir, I think I would run Bloodlust and Vitality, and the reason why I'm gonna say Vitality is for chapter 3. But I digress, let's take it from the beginning actually. In chapter 3, where this squad is the squad to go with besides Rivendell, if you have him at anything below a 6-star, I would go with Last Stand. As most people have probably experienced, Last Stand is really a bit of a way to cheese your good score in chapter 3. So I would do him Last Stand at 7-star with gear 8 around where he is now. I would actually go into something, and this is basically what I'm considering with all of my squads. I would see if I could go into Vitality, because Vitality, when you get crit, means that you get a stack of regen. This squad does have an issue with healing, except if you combine them with Helper Chat and someone else. We'll get into that. So at 7-star, level 60 and gear 8, probably gear 9, I would say is even better. I would try out Vitality if you have the glyphs for it. Don't level up glyphs, this is just a hunch. But I would say Vitality glyphs with block chance and health as health primary, where you can get it, and then block chance and health as secondaries on basically all of them, with pretty good rolls. I would say above 50%, ideally 75% or better, would actually be really, really nice. And that leads me into the next one here, because Boromir is probably going to be the one that I'm going to use as my primary example. Boromir is amazing to tank in chapter 3. Even with the bug, I got above 900k with my squad, and this is with a tank who is 5-star. He is gear 8, that helps him. And if we go through his glyphs, let's actually just go over here. This is where you can see his stats. This is what I have on him right now. So this is still a work in progress. He gets almost 6k health, will be more. He has a good armor already, so that's really nice. I have managed to give him 10% block chance, and remember he gains plus 10% per Gondor ally from his passive. No, he just gains plus 10, I believe. Let's go check that in just a moment. Actually, I forgot what is what. So for him, even at 5-star, if you get him to gear 8, I would say try to see if you could go with shield wall and vitality. If you're a little bit low on glyphs, then actually for him, because you want him to be your taunter all the time, then you could actually go with just the shield wall. Now I want to go through my glyphs here. I have this one here. Sadly, it got this one on the last roll. That was so sad. But other than that, this was what I would consider a good glyph for him. Then I have this right here. Good speed. There's no block chance. I believe I took this from elsewhere, but this nice crit. So using it for now. Then we have an armor over here. Like this is a godsend for basically anyone who you would slap vitality on. Near perfect crit chance, block mitigation, block chance, and focus. And the reason why focus is also important for him is because that way he can land his weaken on both Balrog and Cave Troll, and actually Skull Crushers as well. So down here, HP, block chance, damage, critical damage. It's sadly a focus. It is I just did the roll here just to see what I would get. I don't think I'll go any higher on this one because it's a focus one. Then we have here. It is what I have at the moment. I won't get any higher. And then we have a health over here, which I might go to a level 8 with to see what I get. It would highly depend on level 7, and the reason for that is actually the health. So if we go back and just take a look at his abilities, 15% block chance, and as you could see from his glyphs, I got him 10% on top of that, so that means he's on 25% now, and then it is Denethor's leader ability that grants the extra 30 because 10 per Gondor ally. So he's sitting at 55% block chance. I'm gonna test this next raid and hopefully, please CG have it fixed before Christmas. We'll do ours in 5 days or so, 5-6 days. We'll be at the chapter 3. I think 5 days actually. But yeah, here. This is what he grants to everyone else. This is really nice. So now the issue with him is he needs a lot of health, which is also why I said these down here, they have to be health. Again, this one was health, this was health. If this had been health as well, would have been really nice because just from those at level 8 would be 2k health, and at level 9 that would be 3k health from each. So that would be on top of everything else. Really, really nice. So here you can see this is block mitigation. Really, really nice overall. Again, 5-star. Basically what you want him for is just his Captain of the White Tower. At 5-star, you can actually get away with going full shield wall if you save those. I think though not many people are saving vitality. And last stand is still really nice for that turn meter in chapter 3. But I would consider people to have people consider that they should actually go with vitality. Try it out, see if it can work. Otherwise, go full shield wall, honestly. Last stand is also quite nice. So, and that is basically anything below 5-star, I would say. Go with last stand and a shield wall. Slap that on, you get the most value out of your buck there without having to really spend and level up glyphs above level 5. That is the best way to go there. Same for Faramir. Denethor is actually the same, and this is the same mentality I have for all of them. Like, he's not healthy enough to go. Also, he's only level 5. I actually did just level up his passive to level 4 because I realized I was missing this 50%. It could be pretty nice, and it would be the same, some vitality and some, yeah, wow, mind went blank, vitality and shield wall. That is what I would do, and basically same rules apply. Him, however, I might even at 6-star say go with a last stand, just because they often target him first. So I would say for him, you would go with last stand and shield wall, because that way you cleanse, you gain some stamina. That gives you a better chance of getting this off early, so you can stun, you can get the unbreakables on, you dispel boons. This is actually a really clutch one to have in hand for fire starters, but again, would you really want to save it? Depends how your setup actually works. If you have a very good setup where you don't need it, then you can save it for a fire starter, and then it of course comes down to turn, because the fire starter with advantage kills basically defensive in any chapter, especially in chapter 3 where we need the defensive. So for him, I would do the same. For Denethor, it is a little bit different. I would actually see if I could get some speed on him as well. But other than that, I would say heal, armor, and block chance are the most important ones. And speed is always nice, but I would say you need health and armor and also block chance. So he is a little bit more situational and specific with his glyphs than Boromir. Boromir, you just want health and glyph, health and block on your glyphs, and then of course if you could get armor stuff like that, it's just great. So here I am thinking about actually finishing off my Gondor squad. You can see I have some abilities. I'm really torn between, do I go Merry Pippin? Do I go into my Gondor Rangers? Do I save for when I can make a 7-star Feely? What do I do? I'm really struggling here, and I think I'll wait until tomorrow where we get to see the calendars, like how much which will we actually get. And also, Chapter 4 starts in an hour for us in DK Crew. We've already secured chest 4. Despite it having debugs on Chapter 3, we're murdering it. I think we got to 160 across the first 2 chapters, and then we just nailed it home, so pretty awesome. But yeah, I would probably consider building up this. I don't want to go here because I'm not planning on doing a full Gondor squad. I don't believe in that. This one could be nice, but honestly, 50% regen doesn't do a lot. So again, here you want to go last stand. I would even say until he is a 7-star, gear 8, you want to go last stand on him. And that is where he's a little bit different, because here you can go with vitality or full shield wall. But here you go with last stand and you go with shield wall. Now the reason why I would say shield wall is ideal for these 3, there's however a case to be made for Faramir with his AoE for some Bloodlust. I will say that also if you level up his passive, I might go Bloodlust here because it's just better. So he gets turn meter, he can do slow, he can do more AoE, he can kill stuff. So for Faramir, there's a really valid argument for Bloodlust because he's the damage dealer. But for these 2, here Vitality and Shield Wall, here Last Stand, Shield Wall, because these are gonna be the ones that are gonna be tanking, and you want armor for him, health, block chance. Here, health, block chance. Armor is also nice, but block mitigation is actually really nice if you could get that. So what I paired them with, I know I've spoken a lot about my Gondor Ranger, but Chapter 3 is bugged at the moment, so what I combined them with, I actually combined with Neramiri. Now here this might be nice, and same here, more healing and more stamina. And then I did Last Stand, and I don't know what I did, Armor Piercer maybe. But yeah, that was okay. So that is what I went here, just so I can get that up and running, because that Last Stand could actually be really nice for Neramiri. And then I combined them with Halberd Chad. Now my Halberd Chad is looking like this: Last Stand with Shield Wall. Because I don't need to swap these glyphs out, I'm doing it that way. Now he works really great with them because he has weak-minded. This is why I like Gondor Ranger. He has a very high heal. He gains defensive for himself. That's really great. I believe if you had him at 7-star, you wouldn't want Last Stand because it doesn't really work. But at lower star, you actually want Last Stand. Also because if you use his taunt in a good way, I did mention this in my Good Glyphs guide with swag on Rohan, Halberd Chad, Ironhide, and Strider. If you use this at a correct time, he gains the taunt, he takes some hits. If you use it properly, then he gets that turn meter, so you would actually say keep Last Stand, because he will be whittled down with AoE over time, probably. Skull Crushers are not the biggest issue in Chapter 3, especially if you can land Weaken on them from Boromir. That way you don't really need to worry about the damage. You get the heal, you get the immunity on everyone, which is really good for Denethor as well, because that means you have a higher chance of actually having immunity when he does his special too, so you are not stunned yourself. But here, go with Last Stand and Shield Wall. That is my suggestion, because it will come clutch here. You could also just say Armor Piercer, honestly. But then you go and have this, of course, but you get the taunt, you get the cleanses, you get full stamina, then you just do a normal attack, his taunt goes away. That's the difference between taunt and provoke. And of course he would also get some heal here, but it is what it is. So for him, go like this. It really works in chapter 3. I would say maybe even when he's a 7-star, you would go like this. I'm thinking that might be the way to go. We just go ahead and take a look at his glyphs. Never mind what I have on. I'm just doing some stuff. What do we have here? Yeah, another good one. Armor. Yeah, it's okay, this one, but not ideal. I believe this one is pretty good. Yeah, I just attempted it. Sadly, it is the way it is, so I'm not gonna make it a level 10. Also because I don't have any level 10 at the moment in gear, so I don't need that. But here, this one is pretty good. High speed, high crit chance, high block. So this could be pretty good. Also because we like crit chance. So yeah, that is basically what I'm envisioning. I believe this squad, those 5 members, actually have a legit chance at making a difficulty 5 attempt in the, what's it called? It's called Chapter 3. Now the things you need for that is actually Denethor is normally the one they target first. It's either Denethor or Neremiri. Of course you would want it to be Denethor, so that is why you really want health on him. And after that, you basically with his passive, because you don't always want to stealth Faramir, that's important to say. You actually have 4 tanks that you can swap around with. You have Denethor, who can tank okay himself, and then you have Boromir, who is the tank. Faramir has some nice stats as well. You just want damage of him, of course, but this is pretty okay. And again, they have the block chance. If you don't have a high Halberad and you are more invested into the Gondor squad than Herondil, of course, for some AoE, so you can whittle them down. But basically you want to swap it around, and that's why I feel Vitality will be good, because you can gain the regen stacks on top of a Neremir who's really fast at healing. She cleanses, and if you have Halberad in there, just like I do, then you actually have access to 2 heals. You start off with Neremiris as the first initial heal. When it's appropriate to use, don't use it just first turn if there's no reason to use it. Then you save your Halberad heal for a time being, probably 2 turns, so Neremiri is almost have her on, then you heal, and that way you can actually say, okay, you are very healthy, then you get Neremiri's back up, and then you time it so as Halberad is slowly whittled down. I've actually managed to get a taunt onto him, a marked onto him without him actually being the actual taunter. I don't know how it happened, but it did. It was really awesome to see, because we know tanks aren't getting taunted in, and taunted I mean attacked. Obviously in chapter 3, it's just the way they are coded. But then you can basically swap it around. I believe I have a 1.5 million score here hidden, especially if I get Denethor to level 8 for gear. Sadly, he uses that very, very, very precious material. Candles and tokens. Like, tokens are not an issue anymore, but candles really are. Like, if they gave me an offer for 100 candles, 200 even, I would buy it, because I need candles, and I need a lot of candles everywhere. But I believe if you have everyone at 7, Halberad you might get away with at 6. Neremiri, of course, gear 8 for some more health, also from her glyphs. You would want that on her last stand glyphs. I believe the Gondor free Neremiri and a Halberad, or Herondil if you haven't built, someone else maybe who's a little bit fast, a Nuras for summon, who knows, though Nuras with Rohan Free and Ironhide is working amazing, which I put in my video yesterday, so I would suggest use Nuras there. If you have a Feely but you haven't built up the dwarves, you could pop him in instead of Halberat, because then you actually have healer. His passive does offer a 6% block chance. It is worth mentioning that. I believe there's a 2 million score hidden with this squad in Chapter 3. And overall, I think for certain squads, depending on what you've built, Chapter 3 and Chapter 2 are going to be the two chapters that are going to be easiest for you to get your mithril raid currency in. For Chapter 2, we have dwarves, we have goblins, we have Road to Rivendell to some extent, we have Haradrim, we have Isengard, that's 5 squads there. There's also Rivendell that are actually scoring okay. They do struggle with difficulty 4 because they can't really land that many Banes. Chapter 3, you have Gondor, you have Road to Rivendell, you have the Ironhide, you have Rivendell with Ball, and there's a lot of squads. So those two chapters are the ones that I feel will probably be the easiest to score mithril currency in. I hope I can get mithril raid currency in Chapter 3 before Q2 arrives in 2024. I hope that it will require Denethor 6-star, Boromir 7, and then I'll take it from there. But overall, I think Gondor has a lot of potential, and I'm curious with Last Stand and everything with this heal. I might go ahead and try it over in Chapter 1 when we launch our next raid, just to get a feeling where are they. But the big issue is I don't have enough heal on Denethor. Heal, I mean health. So I'm really confused how I go about the actual squad in Chapter 1. But maybe they are potential okay for a Chapter 1 as well, because Naramir actually has a double attack, so you could even swap Eomer in there. He's a great plug and play. Chapter 3 as well, if you have enough heal with a Naramiri, maybe you could swap Eomer instead for Halberat, so you also have a summon, 6. But again, a lot of different ideas, and I want to test them in Chapter 1. I know I need damage to actually get an actual score, because they don't do anything except for Faramir's AoE, but I need more damage on them overall. And also, of course, not to forget Miri, who's really awesome because she's fast, she has AoE, she has bleed, she has weaken, so yeah. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about Gondor for Chapter 3 and overall, and what do you think is a good way for Chapter 3 to earn mithril raid currency? Let me know, leave a like on the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.